Hello everyone and welcome to our Spark of Hope preview gameplay. I am Zach and I am joined by a good friend of mine and some would say a Destiny savant, Eric Wainwright. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Eric, so we can hear your voice.
Hi everybody, this is Eric.
And I'm going to bring in a camera really quickly. This will be me, my face that you're going to see for a minute. I'm going to show Eric very quickly and hopefully not wreck our setup here. He's over here checking in. If you're seeing this, watching this, hearing this, please comment on the quality of the video and the sound. We want to make sure that's all good to go before we really dive in here and start playing. We're going to be using some cards that have never before been seen from the upcoming set for Star Wars Destiny Spark of Hope. I'll be playing an IG-88 Droids deck against Eric's R2-D2 and C-3PO Droid deck. So it's Droid v. Droid. It's a Droid Bowl. We're going to be showing some cards we haven't seen, and then after this game's over, depending on how much time we have left, we might play a rematch. We also are going to be revealing some other cards from the old DACA preview set that we got and talking about Spark of Hope in general and, of course, the recent errata and balance of the Force that happened. While we're waiting to get set up here, Eric, I'd love to know your general take on the balance of the Force and errata, and I'm going to make sure some things are right on my end while you're basically entertaining me.
Well, I was very excited to hear about the change to Snoke. I mean, I think he was prevalent in his ability to use his power action on resources and discard, and it was super strong, and they even tried to balance him once already to fix it, and that didn't work. So
not quite good enough,
he needed something else, and I think this was definitely, I think it took away all that, basically the round one ridiculous resource regeneration. I mean, there's other ways to do it, and actually you've given me a deck that might be able to do it today and put people back in that state. But aside from that, I think the fact that it was pervasive and led to very similar styles against that deck, I think it was a good change to see that change. I'm less, I mean, I heard the stories about Force Storm and understand the pain that can cause on round one, and so I think I didn't see that pain as much, but I think it was a good fix for that. Like, you know, reducing the, you don't destroy the card because you can still do some pretty degenerate stuff, but you have to wait to round 2 or round 3 before you can really profit off of that.
Yeah, I definitely, I played against Matt, had a Snoke deck that had Watt, Timber, and Palpatine with Force Storm, and basically the ability is there's so many focus in that deck. He had one turn, I think, where he did 16 damage to me, like the turn he played it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just pretty crazy. Again, like you said, with the limiting the Snoke, I think that's completely correct. I like that they did it in such a way that he's still very playable to me.
That's true.
But not obnoxious. Like, he's just good, not great.
Right, and I think there were other decks that would actually Snoke damage more often than Snoke resources, and so that still exists. So I don't think you've totally destroyed the character. You've just destroyed a thing that was happening all the time, and the pairing with him and Watto is probably out the window now.
Yeah. Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Would you mind monitoring the comments on Facebook? I normally monitor them on. Do you have Facebook?
Yeah.
I normally monitor them over here, but I'm trying to. The setup currently is not allowing for that. So, hey Justin A, if you could let us know how we look and sound. That's kind of the thing I'm waiting to hear from. That's why I'm having you check Facebook. You should be able to find the stream and you can just pause it and then you can see the comments as they scroll through. And essentially, if anyone has questions, you can feel free to mention them, and then we'll shout them out and stuff. Again, if you're just now joining, I see people hopping in on YouTube now. Justin saying we sound and look good. That's awesome. We're playing a Spark of Hope preview game. I'm using IG-88 with some other droids against Eric's Hero Droid deck, R2-D2 and C-3PO. And in just a second, we're going to be revealing some new cards from Spark of Hope. I'm really pumped. Have you, now for audience clarity at home, have you been following the previews of Spark of Hope?
Some. So I don't think I've got all of them, and like even your DACA preview and stuff, I saw it briefly, and then I've just had a busy couple weeks. So, yeah, but yeah, like the Yoda thing, I looked into that and saw some stuff on that. So yes, there's some of it that's really exciting.
You know, for me, it's funny because we do a lot of previews, right? Like we've been doing previews for a while. I'm not a preview person.
Me too.
I would rather get to the set and have a lot of stuff I don't know, and at this point, that's impossible. But so much so that we posted the first article, and I thought we were revealing R2 and we weren't because he was on the back of the box apparently at Celebration. But I definitely understand. I mean, even some of the previews from the FFG stream they did last week, I haven't seen yet. I saw Yoda and I saw his lightsaber and I saw the Jedi lightsaber, and then past that I didn't see anything. And apparently there were a lot of spoilers there. So I try to save some things, but you know, if it's blue cards, it's really hard for me to resist. All right, so it looks like YouTube's saying we're good. Are you on Facebook yet? Is this Facebook?
This is Facebook, yeah.
Oh, so I'm just going to go. That's awesome. So I'm just going to pull up Team Covenant. And then it should be the. We'll roll down in a second. So we're live. I'm going to hit comments. So you'll be able to see it.
Correct. I like that they.
That's me.
Oh.
Comments. There should be a way to pause it. Is there not a way to pause it? Maybe not. All right, we're just going to have to go with that. All right, so it should just scroll down. Are people saying there that it looks and sounds good? What up, Monk? Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, we got Carl and Al and Isaiah looking at. They all saying looks good.
Looks and sounds good. Okay, who's ready for some previews? Been a lot of build up to this one over the articles. I don't know if you followed that story or not. We won't go into that. We're just going to reveal some cards. So first up, let's go over to Eric's side. We have R2D2 and C3PO, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up R2. I'm going to pull him up on the screen. If you could just read R2 down for me, people who have not seen him. He is from Spark of Hope. He is a legendary.
And
one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. So I'm a little jealous that you're getting to break him in. I played with none of these yet, right?
So he's a 8 cost and 11 cost elite. He's got 8 hit points.
Keep talking. People are saying your mic's a little high. You're good. You're talking way louder than when you did it.
When you did testing?
When
I got excited about R2 here.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
His dice sides are 1 melee, 2 melee, a disrupt, a shield, and a resource. You cannot play blue abilities on this character. He's also a droid, if that matters. And then after you activate this character, you may turn one of your dice to its first side or to any side instead if you spot C3PO. So if you teamed up with C3PO, you can get a free focus out of him.
Yep.
Otherwise, you get to just turn to the top side of a dice.
Even without 3PO, let's say he's the first one defeated here. We have him paired with Anakin, who's got his first side's a discard. Which is respectable. That's a respectable thing. Okay, so that's R2. Do you like R2?
Oh, I do. I think
he's great, right?
Yes.
He's exactly what you want him to be. Okay, now I'm going to pull up C3PO. Go ahead and start reading.
All right, so he's also 8 cost, but he's only 10 cost for elite. He's also 8 hit points. His sides are 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource. And then his ability is after you activate this character, you may resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by 1 if you spend a resource or spot R2D2. Holy cow.
With R2, it's just +1. Mm-hmm. If you don't have R2, you can spend 1 to make it +1. So presumably, you'd use that on a discard or a damage or a focus. You wouldn't use it on a resource if you're paying for it,
right?
Because you're just increasing it by the thing you're gaining.
Yep.
But with R2 out, right, that's kind of the way I built that deck, was the idea that you could use C3PO to turn your Anakin and your R2 resources into a bunch of resources. And if you take, if you could resolve his ability, it's like that's very quick resource generation. And then, of course, the only other card you have on the table, this is the card we haven't shown. And in the article, it said that you could basically use C3PO's ability twice on the first turn. So we're going to explain how, and you're going to do me a favor really quickly, and you're going to go ahead and read to me Fateful Companions, which is a preview card.
Alrighty, Fateful Companions is a 2-cost plot. After you activate a character, you may exhaust this plot and either spot R2D2 and C3PO, or spend a single resource to trigger that character's after you activate this character ability 1 additional time.
How wild is that, right?
That is crazy with C3PO, and it looks like you have 3 characters here that have after they activate abilities.
So that's all game you're going to be able to do that, right? And so the important thing to know is if you spot R2 and C3PO, it's free. But if you can't spot one of them, then you're going to have to start paying for it. But still, like resolving any of these after you activate abilities, an extra time for a resource, especially given how much resources I think this deck is capable of generating. I think that plot's going to be usable. Obviously, on the first turn, this whole deck is leveraged to gain a bunch of resources, and then drop like a 6-cost Falcon or a Shadowcaster or a couple. And I mean, it's just I'm excited to see what you do on your first turn. But then with this, it's like throughout the whole game, it's almost like it reminds me a little of what was the red plot where you could increase it by 1? Long-term plan.
Long-term plan.
In a weird way, it reminds me of that. It's just a little more. You just use it every turn.
It's aggressive, so you do it in round 1
instead of like building to it. So it's like whereas long-term plan had a curve, this is flat, but it feels the same.
And your curve is at the end. Surely they're going to take out a droid first, but near the end you can use that money to turn it into something else that's more useful than money. Because as the game goes on, you don't need the money as much.
What kind of world are we living in where they go after not Anakin first?
Yeah, I've wanted to play Elite Anakin forever, but I'm like, you can't do that. 7 hit points, he's going to get wiped off the table round 1 every single time. And now, it seems you built the deck to just dare him to go after him and leave the droids alone. I mean, it seems crazy.
I mean, I like creating those situations, right? Where it's basically like you either go at Anakin and leave the droids alone, so now you get the benefit of their abilities and also the plot longer. Or if I go at a droid, right, it kind of puts a target on C-3PO, like a pretty big target, because he's 2 dice and he's one of the droids. But like leaving Anakin on the table means that easy pickings is still on. If you get his pod racer out, that's going to get really frustrating. And his ability to fix droid dice is as useful as anything else, right? So yeah, I'm excited to see what you do. So that's you on your side, and of course you're on the battlefield, Mos Espa Arena, thematic as all get out, right? Flip around to here. I had a little bit of story. If I could choose the IG-88 that I could play, it would be IG-88 with IG-88 with IG-88, right?
Right.
With a bunch of IG-88s. That's not what we have here. So when I was looking, at first I was like, well, at worst I can really play into the whole like subtype theme, droids. So I started looking at what droids can I fit with Elite IG-88 and how does that work. Then I had the realization that IG-88 actually works with General Grievous. So General Grievous makes all your droids cost 1 less point, which includes IG-88, right? So that let me get 3. It was initially IG-88 with 2 battle droids, right? Because he's a 17-point character.
This is a little bit of an upgrade.
So that puts me at like 1, and it's like, okay, well, instead you get a Grievous who gets 3 more health and a power action to reroll any number of your droid dice.
Which includes IG-88.
Which includes IG-88. Hudson on YouTube is saying, show us IG-88. We need it. All right, I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Here comes the man, the myth, the legend. Not really man, the droid, the myth, the legend. IG-88, reading it down. He's 14-17 for 12 health, 2 range, 2 range, 3 range for 1, 2 disrupt, 1 resource with a power action. Resolve one of your bounty hunter dice showing ranged or melee damage against any number of characters that have a bounty on them. So that is a lethal power action, in my opinion. You get a couple bounties down, and all of a sudden, that's doing, the 2s are doing 4 or 6 damage. That's pretty crazy.
That's great.
Especially at 17 points, right? Any AoE abilities in this game, the moment that vehicle decks started popping up and whatnot, is like, all of a sudden, in my decks, it meant Force Wave. But I feel like in any decks, you have to have something to deal with. If your deck can't hang with 3 or 4 characters, you have to have an answer for it. And he obviously provides that.
Yeah, and bounties, 0 cost ones that are respectable out there. And so for 0 cost, now the cost is obviously having them in your deck, right, of 30 cards. But on good case scenarios, when you get stuff in the right order, it seems insane that you can resolve that against 2 or 3 characters.
That's right. Okay, so there's the previews that are on the table. I'm at the lair of General Grievous. I always want to say General Grievous's lair. It is a claim ability to deal an indirect damage to an opponent unless they give me a resource, or spot Grievous to do a damage to a character, straight up. And we do have, so as a reminder before it is really, so SWDBR is saying the power action is very powerful, and I totally agree. But we do have, there's a couple cards, I think, in this IG-88 deck that we haven't shown yet. There may be one in your deck. I don't know. I don't remember if there is. Maybe not. And after the game, we're going to be talking about Spark of Hope in general, and we have a couple more previews coming that are from the old DACA deck. We're not going to be playing that one on stream here today. But all these are from Spark of Hope. If you're unfamiliar, we actually just yesterday ran out of the Saga sets that are on release. So Saga set is one of every legendary, including, it looks like C-3PO and R2. 2 of everything else in the set, and we have a certain amount that are available for shipping by release, essentially. And so that is now moved to shipping within a week of release. So we always make them and ship them in the order they're placed. So if you want to get all the stuff without dealing with booster boxes, the sooner you order, the sooner we're going to ship it to you. But the within 1 week is always within 1 week. And of course, you can always sign up for a booster box subscription. It's free to sign up. You don't get charged till a week or 2 before Spark of Hope comes out. We automatically ship these to you, and we are very intent on getting those to people as fast as humanly possible. And so most of our subscribers get their product on release, and everyone else pretty much gets it the day after release if you're in the US. So that's pretty sweet. If you're pre-ordering boxes online, particularly, I've seen some people waiting a couple weeks to get their stuff from various online places. But if you don't want to have to deal with pre-orders and prepaying and waiting on it after the set actually comes out, check out the subscriptions. That's a pretty easy thing to do. And of course, buying Saga sets or subscriptions allows us to do this right here. So we love doing it. We love this community and the players in it, and we love doing everything we can to get people excited. So if you are one of the people that have already bought one or are going to buy any of that stuff, thank you so much. It really means the world to us.
So you've got Raphael giving you cheers from Brazil, and then you've got a question asking if Jeremy's here.
If
Jeremy's here.
Jeremy's not here. It would be nice if he was just always around the corner for us to have on camera. Are you ready to get started?
I'm ready to go.
You want to play? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a roll-off. We shuffled our decks. You already have your hand.
Don't you want to get your cards first?
Yeah, that's how this game works. This is why I like having Eric around, because he actually plays by the rules. This is a great hand. Do you ever
And-
feel that way?
Yes, and I have cards I like, but I think I really, since the plan is to get,
I'm going to mulligan one.
5 or 6 resources.
Let's talk about it. Was it you that I played Hands Up with on stream at one point last year?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so let's talk about our hands. You just want to lay this down?
Sure, I can do that.
What do you got? And what are you thinking?
I mean, I love Hidden Motive and Pacify, and I would totally keep them in my opening hand, except for the fact that I think we're trying to go for 4, 5, maybe 6 resources round 1, and I just feel like all this has to go back, because if we don't get one of those, all that money waits
Yeah.
for round 2, and it's just not worth it, even for keeping the excellent round 1 mitigation
I
stuff.
100% agree. So you've got in your deck, you've got a Shadowcaster, 2 Falcons, in ones, Anakin's Pod Racer, and so like ideally you get a Shadowcaster or a Falcon.
Yep.
Because I think you can get those into play on turn 1. Falcon particularly because you got to go get that escape craft for free, and it's just putting on the gas on the resources. So I totally agree with you. I'd pitch the whole thing. Mine. So check this out. I've got a Hidden Blaster, which I like. If I end up going first, I can get rid of one of your shields, and it's a nice little gun. And so my kind of idea is I'm going to be upgrading IG-88, making him the obvious target.
Yep.
And then by the time he's defeated, I want to have redeploy stuff out. So that either goes to Grievous or the droid or both. And ideally, I have the droid at this is my big play, right? At a couple health. Stuff redeploys over here. I can activate the droid, try to resolve some dice before you can kill him. And then use something like Best Defense or Crash Landing to kill him, move those things over to Grievous and get a third use on the
that same
turn.
round.
Yeah, that's like the dream. Whether or not I can actually pull that off, I don't know, but that's you got to aspire to something, right? So Hidden Blaster, I'm going to keep that. I like having a 2-cost upgrade, which then makes me really like Sinister Peace, which is a 0, discard a card, remove a die showing a value of 2 or more.
Which, although against my deck, is really not helpful.
This?
I've only got 1 dice that has a 2-side or higher.
Oh, 2 or more. I thought it was 2 or less. Yeah, it's gone. That's out of here. Best Defense, I actually like quite a bit. Again, I can put damage on the droid, and it's like if you want to take out the droid, be my guest, right? I'm going to keep up if I need to. Like so, if you do set up your play of 2 resources, I have a way to kind of deal with that. Crash Landing is fine, but again, I'm going to put the damage where I want it at first, so I'm not exactly going to keep it.
And there's not many.
Then I have Modular Frame, which has redeploy and gives a droid +1 health. It's a solid 0-cost card. I've got a control card. I've got an upgrade. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to pitch these 2.
If you need the reroll, you do. Otherwise, it's an extra health.
Yep. That's a 3 extra health, depending on who dies first, right? All right, let's see. You don't have to tell me. Keep that one secret. You can show the world, though. I'm not going to look.
There's a smile on my face.
He got it. I really hope you get that Falcon down on turn 1.
Although with Best Defense out there, it seems like it's going to be a tall order.
But that's still going to take me quite a bit of effort to do. Okay, now are you ready to roll?
Now we can do
Let's
that.
get into this. Eric, thank you for joining us. Good luck, my friend. 7.
3. But I got some money, so I'll just keep those rolls.
So I can either go to my lair, or I can go to Mos Espa. Mos Espa is not so great for me because I don't have any pod racers in here. Hint. Now, this is step 1 is I have Hidden Blaster. So me choosing my battlefield means I go first, and I'm going to nuke one of your shields anyway. So I'm going to actually choose my battlefield.
Alrighty. That means C-3PO, I think, is the obvious target, so he gets at least 1. I don't know if I go on Anakin or I just double on C-3PO, and I'm going to go ahead and...
For those just joining that may have missed it, I'm going to go ahead and show Faithful Companions really quickly, which is the plot Eric's using as I'm debating my first turn. All right, you ready? I'm going to go ahead and make an action, and I'm going to go ahead and pull IG-80 up as well. My character, which is the new preview. I'm going to play a Hidden Blaster on IG-88, and we're going to remove a shield from C-3PO. And it has ambush, so I get another action. I will go ahead and activate IG-88. He's got a 2 disrupt, so if I can put pressure on your resources in that way too, I'm trying to keep you off of a 6-6er on turn 1. Now, it's important to remember, all right, so a 3 for 1, a 2 for nothing, and a blank. It's important to remember as well that you, I don't know what I was going to say. I'm gone. It's out of my head.
All right. So it's my turn, and we're doing nothing else for activating, and I think what's really interesting about this deck is the order of activations, because all of them have after abilities, there's focusing, there's stuff. I think round 1 seems like we should do C3PO last, trying to maximize the chance that we have dollars out there.
100%.
And so then the question is between Anakin and R2, and I think it's going to change throughout the game, but I think
Yeah.
round 1 it actually make more sense for Anakin, because R2 has the same focusing ability, which totally doesn't use Anakin's ability, which is kind of crazy, but especially since he has the more likely dice to hit, I think it just gives R2 more options to turn.
All right,
We
so
got
you
one of those
a resource and a
resources
shield.
and the shield.
And so here's the thing, right? I don't have any resources. That's what I was going to say. I don't have money to play Best Defense yet.
That's true, so
so
I have a little window.
You have a window. What I was going to say is, even if I had a money, though, it would almost be tempting to go with C3PO, because he's got a 1 and 3 on both dice to get a resource, to not give me the chance to Best Defense them.
That's true.
Knowing I have Best Defense, obviously, which you
Might
maybe
not, yeah.
wouldn't have known had you not.
But it's something to think about when you play around, right? Kind of like playing against easy pickings, where if I have one resource out and you're waiting for a second one to come out after R2, maybe I do 3PO then, because I have a good chance of hitting one resource, and that's
you
2,
already
and that's
have it,
6,
yeah.
and then...
at worst, you're looking at gain 2 money, gain 2 shields, which is, or whatever C3PO hits. He might hit a focus. It's like 2 focus is also not bad.
Not
side
horrible.
note.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and play Well Connected. So I'll get a buck and you'll get a card.
Ooh.
I'm going to go ahead and move Mosespa out of here. I'm going to go ahead and clear out IG8 as well. He's just been hanging on the screen for a minute.
So now the question is, do I really play around the Best Defense? And I think I make you do it. So I'm just, well, I really shouldn't, but
I
think
feel
I would
like
have.
You would have made me do it?
I think I probably would have just gone with R2-D2 until, I get games under my belt and see it coming.
Well, I mean, it's coming, right?
Sure.
We're kind of playing open-faced here. So the decision we were talking about, right, is do you activate C3PO and hope you hit a resource?
Yep.
Or do you...
R2-D2, guarantee I have 2 resources sitting out there. If you have the multi-mitigation, it happens, and then C3PO has work to do to get back to my resource plan. So, all right. We'll go ahead and play smart.
Yeah, because
We'll
then
bring
R2 can come in and fix C3PO's die.
Correct. And this Faithful Companions, I can wait until after I roll his dice out to see if I want to use it or not.
Yep. Presumably you do. Oh, money.
So there's the money. So after we activate it, we resolve it, and this is also an activate, so I don't think it matters what order I do it in. So I'm going to, after activate, you may resolve this dice, and since I have both of them, I get to get +1, so that's going to give me the 2 resources. And then I very quickly come over here, and Faithful Companions, I have to exhaust it, so I only get to do it once around, and I get to resolve any other dice for +1, and I will do that one, and that'll get me up to the 6, where if I've got a Falcon, it's going to be fun times.
Yeah. So now you're at 6. That's bad news for me, but we'll deal with it anyway. Let's go Grievous. You got a 1 gun. I'm showing 6 damage,
6 damage.
which is almost enough to off
Anakin. Yep. So is there any... I don't think there's anything 0 from hand that can get there, so I think we're going to play it slow. We will go ahead and drop that Falcon that we were hoping for.
This is the deck just doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
And then we get to go ahead and find that single escape craft that's in there.
How does 8 costs worth of support feel on the first
On
turn?
first turn, yeah, haven't even... I mean...
I'm not sure that this is going to... Well, we'll see. You're pretty fragile. You're a fragile bean. All right.
But I definitely think it puts you in the aggro category real fast.
Yeah. I got to get it done. I'm going to re-roll. And I'm going to re-roll this blank and the Grievous die. Looking for either the 2 on the gun or the 2 focus on Grievous.
Focus to get there.
2 money. That's going to be okay.
Interesting alternate option, yep. So neither of these are, but still, with R2 out there, I can turn my Falcon to any side that I want to, so I think getting him out
Pretty
there
good.
seems
That's why you
good.
saved that R2.
Now you have the choice of either using your mitigation or
You have no
resolving
money
your 3.
currently, right?
I have no cash showing.
All right. So let's first step. Let's gain $2. And let's make you wonder what I've got.
Now, if I do it, it's going to be... So I have the focus from C3PO, I have the focus from R2. I don't know that it matters which one I use. But now, if you have any type of sneaky damage from hand, that can get 2 damage on me. Again,
And don't forget my battlefield, which will be a free damage.
free damage at the end. But
That's
it is
why I
not
maybe shouldn't have
unblockable.
re-rolled my 1 on Grievous. I should have just taken for 6.
Take it, and then you could have maybe, yeah. But I could shield up with that 1 to
Yeah.
get out of there. All right, we'll get our dice in the pool and let you do as much mitigation as you can with the cash you have.
You can re-roll that.
We've got the 2 sticks.
We got Ronald asking if those are printed C3PO dice. So these are proxies. We actually don't have the dice yet. We just have the previews. So those
we
are
get to
dice that
choose.
we've figured out how to kind of make.
And so
R2's
we can
letting you
go
choose
to
a
the
die to
3,
turn, right?
And if you've got all this mitigation, I think the right thing to do is actually spin this one to the 2 resource side, because that still makes that dice turned on, and then you have to
So
choose which
much
one you want to
RAM.
deal with.
Let's go best defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put 3 on my droid. I'm going to take away your R2 die and your Falcon die. I'll give you the money. This is going to be crazy, though. So you're looking at 3 or 4 money here, which means next turn you're going to be at 5 or 6, and like you have N1s and you have the R2 Astromechs, etc.
Still not looking at lethal, so we'll go ahead and just grab the cash for now. Leave the focus out there.
I'm going to activate my droid. 1 indirect.
That's okay. We will
Yeah,
go
you're
ahead and
fine by me.
action to get that escape craft to escape.
Okay, I'll do an indirect damage with the droid.
And now the question is,
Can't put it on Anakin.
can't put it on Anakin.
That's the one thing we know.
So it's the 1 dice R2D2. I think we will go ahead and
Yeah.
do that.
100%. You're up.
And the escape craft will come back in. Try and roll again. Got the 2.
Can you read Faithful Companions to me really quick? Someone's asking us questions on this.
Sure.
This
2-cost plot. After you activate a character, you may exhaust this plot and either spot R2D2 and C3PO, or you can spend 1 resource, and then you can trigger that character's after you activate this character ability 1 additional time.
Yeah, so you activate C3PO, which lets you resolve a die at +1 because you can spot R2, and then you trigger Faithful Companions to do the same thing.
And I said I could do it in either order, but you do need to do the C3PO one
Yeah.
first, technically.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and do... Here's the question, right? It's like, do I do 5 damage to R2 and get him 2 away? Or do I do 5 to Anakin and get him 2 away? I think, honestly, isn't it funny? Like, so C3PO has a shield and 1 less damage, and he's a way better target.
Way better. Extra dice.
But my odds of getting R2 off the board before you get to do your shenanigans next round is so much higher. So we will pursue that. I'm going to do 5 damage to R2D2, my fave.
Showing them your love. All right, so we still got our focus sitting out there. Doesn't look like anybody's in danger of dying, so I think we just take our time and we'll go ahead and grab 2
the
more
bucks.
resources.
I'll play Modular Frame on my Battle Droid.
Okay.
He seems most likely to go.
Yep.
He lets me play another Best Defense without him just dying.
Okay, and it looks like you're claiming any moment now. We're just going to go ahead and take our time here and put the escape craft back on, using that as a power action.
Hudson, if R2 can spot C3PO, he can actually turn a die to any side. That's why they're so good together. Besties. I'll claim and do a damage to Anakin.
You have faith in getting 2 next round.
Well, I'm looking at this IG-88.
Yep, so if you can...
If I hit a 2 or a 3, you're going to have to do something to prevent me, and I'm assuming I'm going to have other things going on in my hand. If you're watching right now, I'd love to know 2 things. 1, where are you watching from? And 2, what card so far from Spark of Hope are you most excited about playing once the set comes out? I'm actually pretty sad. I didn't draw any bounties.
Yeah. Didn't even
That's
get
the
it
problem,
going.
right? I wrote about that in the deck article. It was, bounties, the problem with them is they take resources and cards, and then usually they don't do enough by themselves. So you need a character that uses them. But anytime you have that situation where, oh my word, are you kidding?
So I had a debate between Shadowcaster and this, but here I can definitely get a Millennium Falcon reset if I want to. And
That is amazing. This deck is wild.
Starfighter coming in.
Man, you have a focus on
I have the focus to
C-3PO.
get it there. I mean, 3 indirect's fine, but I think you just go for...
Go for the value, my friend.
Boom.
Yep. All right. So walking through that.
Yep, sorry.
Focused to the N1 to the special. The special on the M1 lets you ready a vehicle.
Ready an exhausted vehicle that is not a copy of the support, so you can't do it on other N1s, but otherwise...
Also, I love the R2C3PO Anakin theme here. So you get to go and you get those dice.
That guy's
again.
still tapped,
Yep.
and now these guys are coming in.
Gross.
And we got shields for days, and
That's pretty
that
good,
escape
honestly.
craft is just doing work.
Yeah. Once you realize, if you can get to 6 consistently, that Falcon is insanity, right? Am I right? I'm right. I think I'm right. We have the Netherlands, Topeka, Kansas, and Brazil, and the UK tune in, and London here. Isn't that awesome? The universe we live in, where there can literally be people from multiple continents watching us play Destiny and being here with us tonight in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is boggling.
It is awesome. So I think the longer this game goes, the better I'm going to be. So I think I'm probably just going to use these shields, which means I don't know what I'm doing with the rest of my hand here, because I could...
Honestly, 3 shields on R2 at this point?
Yep, I mean, that's where those are going, and the other one, Anakin will put one on himself, so I'm fine
And
with
Australia, add another continent, and Maryland. We're coast to coast here.
that. And you know what? I actually think I will re-roll to try and get Anakin into the money, because if I can do that, I can drop the Shadowcaster now to just get one more card for next round,
You
because
can play the
mitigation might be
Shadowcaster
good.
now?
I've got 3. If I can get a money over there from Anakin, I can get to 4.
Shadowcaster costs 4.
Cost 4.
That's amazing. I thought it cost 6.
Well, all the things are pay sides, so it's not like I'm going to actually
look.
do anything with it.
He's
but-
got half resources, yeah. So you're telling me, hold on a second. Go ahead.
Boom.
You
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The new Snoke.
15 resources on the first turn. Now, that said, this dream would not have been alive had you activated R2 first.
That's true,
Instead,
and they've been easy, best
now-
defense.
I still think it would have been fine, though, because you would have had C-3PO, who hit a resource, resolve that, and then you had the focus side that you hit. So you resolve that immediately. So you would have been 1 resource shorter, but like it would just mean you have 3 resources right now instead of Shadowcaster.
But
you
I
would've-
needed to get to that 6, so I don't know if it actually would have worked out that way. 'Cause
Well, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you would have had to find another money.
I'd have to
somewhere.
find it, so I'd have to re-roll into it or something like that. So
Which I
it
don't know
would have
you
been.
could have done.
Well, depends how much you want to go all in for that. All right, so there are 2
And Canada.
sides
We got multiple countries going on here.
on this guy that's useful, and that's not it. So now the question are these
Iceland.
mods?
Wow. Oklahoma, Mark Peterson. What's up, Mark? He's probably out there right now. What did you just do? You rolled in?
I rolled in on the money side, and I've got 2 cards I really want to
What-
drop on the
what-
Shadowcaster.
What sides? Oh, play on the Shadowcaster?
It's got shields and disrupt.
No, you can't play 2 upgrades on the Shadowcaster right now.
No, I can't.
Oh.
But I have 2, and I want to keep them for next round. Or I can re-roll that possibly into shields or disrupt, both of which
Yeah.
I would take.
I don't think that's good enough to... If you have the guaranteed make your dice cost nothing on the Shadowcaster, I don't know what the... I'm trying to think. Maybe if you have a twin laser...
It's twin laser and it's targeting astromech. Both great things on Shadowcaster. So the question is, do I go that route or do I just go for the value on this round? I don't know.
You ever in the middle of a Destiny game and you think to yourself, I'm getting rocked? That's how I feel. The fact that it's R2 and C-3PO is totally fine by me.
And I've done 0 damage to you, so you're feeling all this without any actual pressure on you
Yet.
yet. That's
Look
right.
at your support chain, right?
It's crazy. Alrighty.
All right, next round. Let's see if I can draw some bounties, huh? Get some previews in here. Yeah, one of the cards in here that we haven't shown is Wanted Dead or Alive, and I really want to see. I want to get that in play. All right, I got some bounties. I didn't get the preview, though. Man, wouldn't that be a shame if we finished tonight and just didn't get a preview card because it never came up? This is going to be interesting. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
We're gonna go hand cannon
Boom.
on Iggy. So he's packed out now. By the way, him with a hand cannon is correct. Have you seen? And to recap really quick before we go any further, let's just state the fact that you literally got 15 worth of resources in play on turn 1. Is that more than any deck we've seen? That may be a record.
It might be. I mean,
Like casually, like I think you could have gotten more if,
Yeah.
if you'd hit the right thing.
I don't know what Entourage can do. I mean, basically, you need to have a dice that has multiple resources to get there, right?
Yeah, well,
So-
you get C-3PO, which gives you 2 bonus resources from the
Sure,
double.
but I mean, I'm saying the only way this happens is if they chain into more resources to get themselves. So, like Entourage, pay 3, get 2 back. It's only cost 1, you get a 3 thing down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this
This
Escapecraft
cost nothing.
cost 0, and I got 6 out of it.
So you paid for your Falcon with that.
I paid for my Falcon.
And then you got an M1, and then you got a Shadowcaster.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You're happy. Hold on. Let's just show. This is Eric. He's just smiling. It's almost like watching a kid in a candy store over here. It's just because I feel like you're just playing straight up to your fundamentals of resource gen. Like this is how Eric Wainwright plays Destiny.
I enjoy this much. Alrighty, so Anakin or R2 is probably coming off the table soon. So
For people that missed it too, while you're doing your thing, I'm going to bring up IG88. I'm looking at him here myself, and you can go ahead and roll with it. All right, just got a 4 indirects and a 1 shield. That actually doesn't seem that like egregious. Now you've got money, so I'd rather you not, you know, get to do anything with that, like the control cards that I'm sure. I feel like there's an easy pickings in my future. Is that a good feeling? Are my force senses correct? All right, I got a 2 with IG88, a 2 that's going to not be good, a 3 indirect, and a 2 ranged.
The force is strong with this one. He called it.
Yeah, that is just
That's really a shame because those are the 2 dice you're allowed to do your cool bounty ability with.
Yes, they are, Eric. Ah, that hurts my body. Bummer. This is going to not end well for me. You ever feel that way?
Right now, it's not feeling that way at all.
Let's go with Grievous. Let's see what we get. A 1 resource.
Going for the money. All right. So I actually need to ramp up to do this other dirty stuff I have in my hand, but I think I can go ahead and get R2 in there now, and we'll go ahead and get that escape pod back to its 2 side, because that's its reason for being.
That's not a good thing for me. I can't do so much about it. Let's go with the droid. I don't know that this is recoverable, especially after your easy pickings. That was just insult to injury.
So there's no other ways to do it, but I think we'll just go ahead and grab the cash.
All right, let's pitch. No, let's use Grievous to reroll Grievous and the droid. Reroll a number of droid dice.
Yes, and Grievous doesn't count as a droid.
Oh, he's not a droid. Thank you for the catch. Like I said, there's a reason we keep you around. And this was on what, an indirect? I'm gonna rethink my life. I'm gonna go home. I'll reroll. I'll just reroll them. Let's go here too. I was gonna do fun bounty stuff, and then you robbed me.
4 damage. That puts R2 at 1, and then you claim the battlefield to finish him off.
You got a
And
shield showing on.
I get a
right?
shield showing that I can do right in between there to keep him alive. And
See, we got things.
unfortunately, that is not going to change. So I think we just go to, Shadowcaster is a nice abusive thing. The other thing that's abusive in any Anakin deck is his Pod Racer.
How does he read? How does it read?
Ambush. After you resolve this dice, you may discard the top card of a deck, or if you spot Anakin, discard a random card from opponent's hand. So I'm going to start attacking that hand of yours so that you have less options to deal with all
You
my
have to
stuff.
resolve it though, right?
I do have to resolve it, and I can't do it yet.
All right, I'm gonna put wanted on R2.
Ooh.
He's wanted. When he dies, I get 2 money.
2 money, and he's got a bounty on him. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring Anakin in. And
Blank City.
we will go ahead and spin a droid dice or a pod dice, and we will go ahead and force you to do whatever you want to do with your last 2 cards.
Yep. Because if not, you're gonna nuke him with C-3PO. I'm gonna go ahead and play Best Defense. We're gonna take away the Falcon die
Yep.
and the Pod Racer die,
Pod Racer die. Okay.
which is I don't want. So here's what's, it's really powerful C-3PO, right? Because if you roll him in and you get a focus, you can focus 2 and definitely hit a resource to get 2 money off something. But I'm curious to see what you do. Go ahead.
Yep.
Tell me what's up.
So I'm still, C-3PO on the Millennium Falcon would have been fine. I was looking for some more money first, though, because I do want to get that Shadowcaster built up with minimum rerolls. So I think there's no way I'm claiming here. Looks like you're
way away
near
from
the
claiming.
end, so I'm just going to bring this escape craft off and see if I can wrangle up some more money from that guy.
All right. Let's. I missed. I know. I made a mistake. It's cool.
This has not been used yet this round, sorry.
Let's go 1 indirect damage wherever you'd like it.
Alrighty, so is it time to let C-3PO eat one? I think so. Just
I don't think you're wrong.
escape craft will come on in.
Just
got
delivering
a
that
buck.
value. We'll get a shield over on my battle droid.
And we will go ahead and bring in the N1 Starfighter.
You realize the pain you're about to deal. It's not good for me. Let's go a death mark on
Ooh, you're
R2D2.
doubling them up. Not even going to try for IG88's awesome turn next turn, huh?
Well, the thing about it is, if with those on him, if I defeat R2, I'm going to draw 3 and gain 2 resources. My hope being that I draw bounties to put on
the other two
characters.
guys. Yep.
But we'll see. I mean, you could just easy pickings me again. What are the odds? Hitting double 2s again.
Alrighty, so C-3PO is going to go ahead and go in, and I haven't used my Faithful Companions yet, so most likely I'll do it here.
Oh my,
and that is really what I wanted. I mean, focus might have been better, but that's all right. So
4 money.
we're definitely going to go 2 money from this one, and then I think I'm going to keep that around because it's got 2 focus sides. This
Yep.
also has 2 focus sides.
You could resolve the...
This is actually slightly better dice, so I should do that, I think. So I will go ahead and indeed use that to get 2 more money.
Now that you're at a
And I
casual
had
$5.
Just
Yeah.
I was at nothing and looking for them, and here they came.
All right, let's hit R2 for 4.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I get to grab that 1 shield to protect me, and now that 1 damage you put on Anakin round 1 seems to be looming large.
Yeah, I'll claim put a damage on Anakin.
Do it again. Anakin is... Grievous don't like him.
You can call it greed. I call it fun.
Alrighty. So we will...
All right, people were telling me where they were from earlier, but they didn't answer my second question, which is what Spark of Hope card previewed so far, not just tonight, but in general, are you most excited? What are you missing?
We are missing a triple laser turret.
Is that what that is?
Those are the
The dorsal turret?
dorsal turrets.
Well, in that case, Eric, what you're going to get to do is you're going to get to entertain everybody while I go get a die. So if you could, what card are you most excited about from Spark of Hope so far? And is it in front of you? And then if you want to interact with the stream as they're telling you their favorite cards, I will be right back. If you're looking for TLTs, triple laser turrets?
Triple laser turrets, that's the
Alright.
one. I mean, R2 and C-3PO look really exciting. I don't know, the 8 hit points obviously is going to be a question on if you can keep them alive that long. But the other card that is just breaks the rules is that Yoda that can have up to 6 shields on him. And so I'm definitely going to play around with him and see what Yoda can do on that. Yeah, his lightsaber, a 1-cost lightsaber. Oh, roll me back to Padawan days. I would have been in heaven there. But just as itself, it's a 1-cost die, and all those sides are, I mean, they're not great, but for a 1-cost die, that's super solid. I'm all about 1-cost dice. Alrighty, so I do think R2-D2 and C-3PO being together and figuring out the order of operations on these guys is going to be interesting. I don't even know if I use C-3PO proper this turn. I mean, obviously getting the money is great, but as you play this, you'll be able to see other lines and times when you need to activate them earlier or use it on focus or something like that. So, I mean, I love little puzzles like this, and I think R2 and C-3PO maximizing how to play them is an excellent puzzle. And then on the other side of it, what do you need to do to keep them alive? Because I do think they're going to draw some fire pretty darn quickly.
I'm looking for a die.
Any die?
Any die. Keep talking, Eric.
Yep. So over here on this table, Zach had both his bounties put on the same guy. Like he said, he was going to refill up next round when R2 goes down, and hopefully the 8 cards and 4 resources he's going to have is going to be enough to put him over. And as scary as my board looks, and I mean, we've seen it with Shadowcaster, it can do stupid things in 1 turn. But, on the damage race side, he is well ahead of me at this point in time. I mean, he's taken a couple damage on Grievous and the 3 on that he self-inflicted to slow me down. But, at this point, I've got all the stuff on the table. What I'm looking for is mitigation next turn, just to keep my guys alive just long enough for, all these things that I'm going to do. Because it looks like I am never going to be claiming in this match. Oh, on the stream, we're talking about Django there. I saw that, and I think anything that gives you a money for free is insane. And then again, we're breaking another rule, which is it's what the Bandolier did before, but being able to just stack equipment on them, I think that's ripe area for creativity for an interesting deck.
I got one. Don't play another one.
Don't play another one. Alrighty.
Just if you
Them's the
see it,
rules.
discard it. Just kidding. If you see another one, we have one of them, so we can make that.
We'll
work.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Did I miss anything?
We talked some Yoda, some Django.
I claimed, right?
You did. You're
Oh,
out of it.
you just go.
I'm just going.
I don't know what you were waiting on.
I was waiting on that dice. Targeting the astromech is worthwhile. Turn any attached supports die to any side. So that guy gets to be whatever I want, and right now the 5 for 2 is free.
Pretty good. I'm going to read some comments here while you're thinking through this, or you can keep moving. Yoda Saber, one of the favorites. Yeah, Kylo Thrawn. I'm curious. What's the deal with Kylo Thrawn, Ryan Adams? I haven't really looked at that. I've only mildly... I saw Thrawn when they announced him, but didn't really take him in. A lot of people saying Reylo, which I'm a huge fan of, so thumbs up to that. Jango Fett does look cool. Did you see the new Jango?
I did see the new Django.
You ever... Oh, my goodness.
I wanted that focus, though, but that's all right. I'll accept
You mean-
gobs of money.
11 damage with gobs of money showing
Yep.
is not good enough for you?
Yeah. We'll go ahead and let you choose where 8 of that stuff goes.
Or then we'll be doing the Talisman of Resurrection, the Hex card, after this game. So stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about Spark of Hope. What's up?
You get 8 wherever you want.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're so kind. 3, 4, 5, no. 6, no. 9,
Yeah.
and we'll go -1 here.
Yeah, that's good on that guy, because otherwise I would have. And we'll put the
3 more on Greaves.
3 into Grievous. Try and reduce the number of dice you get next round for
Okay.
that power action. That's all I got.
Do you attach that at the end if you want, or what?
Thank you very much.
That's
Yes,
up
I would
to
like
you.
to.
All right. Well, we'll see if I can pull out a miracle here.
It starts with killing R2 on your first roll and then having 8 cards and 4 money to do shenanigans.
Liam, I'm so happy. So he said he's excited for the non-legendary Yoda, and I think one of my favorite things I've seen from Spark of Hope so far is that the legendaries aren't just the really good characters you want, right? We saw Yoda's lightsaber is legendary. We have R2 and C-3PO, which are legendary, which makes sense because they're legends. But we get Yoda, we get Kylo, we get Rey, and this is just all at the rare slots.
Yeah, well, I think they're doing some moving stuff around, right? We've had Grievous as a starter character, and we've had him as a rare. We had Yoda now as a legendary, but now back to a rare. Django used to be the rare, now so you kind of get to mix and match, and so especially for casual people, you'll get to play with a copy of
If
what they want.
that character, somehow they can probably get him for a pretty affordable rate. I totally agree there. Okay, I found a new card. Let me look at this. Okay. Let's. Oh, that's nice. All right, you ready?
Yep, you want some cash?
Yeah, bucks are good, I hear. All right, let's activate IG88. Now, what I really need is one of his dice not to equal any of my other dice. And I need you not to be able to... I'd like the 2 and the 3 showing, if possible. Let's see if fate allows it. So 2 and a blank, but the 2s match everywhere.
2s
But
match.
I can at least get rid of R2 if I really need to. Unless you have
Unless I have easy pickings, right?
easy pickings.
Unless I have easy pickings.
Do you have
so.
your other easy pickings, please?
R2.
For the love of everything that's good and holy.
And so that's 2. So if I can get that dice off the table, it minimizes what you can do, and then you have to have a modifier that's out there doing nothing. So we will go ahead and hidden motive that and call range.
You sure?
I hear IG88 likes his guns.
He does. Blank. That's perfect. You ready for this?
Yeah, here it comes.
This is what I really wanted. I'm going to play Roger, so I can change 2 of my droid dice to sides of my choice. So I'll go to a 3
Boom.
and a 2. That's not a 2. That's a 2 disrupt. Got 9 damage
Now
showing,
anybody can die.
including our good friend C-3PO.
This is interesting. So C-3PO can roll out and use his thing to get something, but the focus is basically useless. Shield would save him. Money is fine. Although looking at my hand, the money is not super necessary. So I'd really like something out there first. You can't take out 2 guys though, right? Yes, you could. You can take out R2 and
Anybody.
Anakin.
Not in the same... Can I do that in one action? 5. Oh, yeah,
Just need
definitely.
to, yeah.
That's even less fancy, but even better. What I was going to say is I could use my power action to do 3 against everybody.
No, it only does it.
Or 3
people that
against
have
the bounties.
things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you
Sorry,
have-
I'm not.
you might have some bounties
I'm not
coming down.
trying to reveal what's in my hand. I'm just saying that maybe I have a way to kill lots of. Yeah, Anthony, I love the again this whole cycle, this focus on theme and the subtypes. So the droid cards, like Roger being played on IG-88, is hilarious to me. So it's cool. It's cool seeing those kind of themes being built. I'm really excited to see where we're at after not episode 9, technically after episode 9, but after set 9 comes out to see even more of that theme being built. So we'll see.
I'm going to go ahead and bring the pod racer in because that way I can get some value out of Anakin if I activate him.
Let's think about this. I'm going to. This is funny. I'm going to play a new card for the first time ever.
Dun dun dun.
I've just got to decide who I want to play it on. I'm going to play it on C-3PO.
Okay.
This card is called Dead or Alive, and we're going to pull it up here on screen. This is a reveal. So it's a 1-cost bounty that I love, and it says, play only if you spot a bounty hunter, which I do. After attached character is activated, I gain a resource. After attached character is defeated, I gain a resource. So that's going to be my play, and now it is your action.
So now you are out of the cache, so you can't play for IG-88, but you can resolve against both those guys with his main dice.
That's right.
So that's him dead, and then you're sitting on needing to get a resource to do that.
If I kill R2, I get $2.
You get the $2, that's right, and you'll be able to do whatever again.
Yeah.
So I think before Anakin hits the road, we're just going to go ahead and make you discard 2.
Discard 2.
1, and then because of
Okay,
Anakin,
yeah,
I get to do a second one.
A Roger, and another Hidden Blaster. All right, let's go ahead and deal 2 damage to R2-D2.
Just R2-D2?
Sorry, power action. Yeah,
On this dice, right?
this is the special moment. Well, so I was thinking, I'm gonna get more cards, and I have another. I could technically save it for the 3
And then do
against
2
both
there.
of those.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the safest play. I don't know. You haven't been controlling them, so like surely you aren't going to. I'll just do it anyway. We'll do power action on IG-88 for the first time ever, and I'm gonna clear this card out really quick. It's been hanging out for too long now. And we'll do 2 damage to R2 and C-3PO. And I'll get to trigger both Death Mark, which lets me draw 3 cards, and Wanted, which will give me 2 more resources. And, you know, for as bad as I was feeling, and I'm still not feeling great, I think you can clear my board this round.
That's what I need to do, I think, because early next round, you're going to probably have
Yeah.
some lethal out there.
I'm not feeling as bad as I once did.
So now you get to kill one or the other. Activating C-3PO with nothing to activate it again or use it on dice-wise seems bad. Anakin's fine, but really it would be better if I got some value out of him first. I think I just bring out my ships and see what you can do with your newfound cards.
What awaits?
We'll start with the Millennium Falcon. He got a 3-side.
All right, let's go Sinister Piece, discarding a Donderbus to remove the Falcon die. At this point, I just have to prevent as much damage as possible to not just get rolled.
And the benefit of Shadowcaster dice is
Can't get rid of it.
hard to do with this guy.
2 shields and a what? 2 damage?
2 damage and 2 shields. Yep.
Okay. Let's go ahead and deal 5 damage to Anakin. Just get him off the table before you get to use him.
So Anakin's down, R2's down. The Faithful Companion's still live because I have plenty of cash from my other turns
You can just
to
take the boards off the table if you want. There you go. Easy peasy.
C-3PO, that perfect gentleman, flying the Falcon, the Starfighter, the Shadowcaster, and a Pod Racer.
I believe. But he's one of the true heroes of the rebellion. Not the hero, that's our team, but oh my word.
We will go ahead and drop a second targeting Astromech down.
So that's going to let you change your dice.
Change that
and
dice
change
to
it
whatever
again,
set I want.
Assuming you get to activate
If I get
again.
activated again, which
So I'm kind of looking here, and I need to do 6 damage, right?
6 damage.
So if I can do 6 damage, which I could do 2, 4, I could do 6 here if you don't have any control. Let's go with Grievous. Let's see if we can get this, because I got 1 for free over on the battlefield, right? I got a 2 indirect, looking better all the time.
And
Okay.
we are going to be forced to use that on Grievous, which means you are allowed to control my dice now.
Oh, because it's gone yet. All right, so Grievous is going to be defeated. Yeah, I had to make you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and Sinister Piece to remove your Shadowcaster die.
There you go.
I'm glad I mulliganed one so that it would come back to me in the middle of the game, you know what I mean?
So you have no cards, you have a battle droid, and you have that, which is going to do an indirect damage. So I'm taking 1 or 2. Alrighty.
Max I can do with what's showing is 4.
Right.
Because there's 2, 3, and then 1 for the... Actually Grievous, but it's still indirect, so that's cool.
Come on, special.
We're okay.
Not yet.
All right, let's go with the battle droid. Roger, roger. I got the 1 indirect. Someone asking if Liam's saying, did Grievous have a shield? That was not a shield, that was a power action token.
Nine, 10 if I do it in that order, or 11 if it's indirect damage.
You can do 11?
I need to do 11, because you take 1 there and that moves over.
Yeah, unless you can do...
The set 9
9
there
and
first,
then-
yeah. But if
yeah.
I'm doing indirect, so the question is, do I bring this out first? I really didn't want to have to use my rerolls this early.
You still have C-3PO.
I do, but I also want him to activate on something that's useful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead, take a little chance, and put out a second one of these guys.
I don't think
Puts me
that's
down to 1 million.
A big chance. You can also like... oh, it's here. Yeah, we're good. I'll do 2 damage to C-3PO.
Puts him at 4.
This is actually way closer than I expected it to be. I thought after you had your 15 resource turn... Oh, my. The fates have blessed me. I will do 1 indirect with the droid.
So now, do I roll in C-3PO hoping to hit the focus, or do I use my 1 reroll that I want to use right now?
I feel like you use it now. You got 3 blanks showing,
Yep.
and like if C-3PO does hit focus, if you can
get it
if you
anyway?
get a die in right now, like if you can get a special on an N1, or that's even fine too. Now you at least have value happening. Okay, so I'll claim and do 1 more damage.
Alrighty, down
wherever
to
you would
2
like it.
life. Alrighty, so it is C-3PO time.
Thanks, Anthony. Sandy likes the Battle Droid Iggy Grievous combination. Once I saw that Grievous could reduce IG-88, I was all about it.
You get a cash.
Oh yeah, give me that money. Pay the bills.
Alrighty, so now,
Could that have gone better? I don't think so.
no, I think that's pretty darn good. So now, do I want to just reset twice? I've got those things. I think that's probably the right answer. So
I'm curious to have you walk me through this.
you may resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by 1 if you spend a resource or spot R2D2. So since I only have 1 resource at this point in time, I can only do it once.
Yeah.
So there's no point in doing that. So, but I will.
And that would also cost you money if you were doing that. So you'd actually have to pay 3 to do it twice.
Yes, and that would not. You're right.
Does
You're
that
right.
make
Yep.
sense?
Yep.
Just for everyone watching. So basically, C-3PO, when he activates, you can either spot R2 or pay a resource to resolve a die at +1. The Faithful Companions, you can either spot R2 and C-3PO to use one of your after activate abilities again, or you can pay a resource to do it. So because that costs a resource as well, technically to trigger the second C-3PO after your activate ability, he would have to pay a 3rd resource.
And so I think what we're doing is we're heading
Head
back to.
Funky Town. Now, you could also turn this to a 2 focus.
And get another one off of C-3PO.
And then you could turn
dollar might
this
be
2
more useful.
focus to turn that into a focus and that into a special.
Okay. And that
Well,
would
actually,
help.
just be at 2 focus. So yeah, then you could turn that special, that to focus.
Okay, so instead of this one, I'm grabbing the 2 focus here because all
Yep.
we care about is focus at this point.
I think
And
it's under your finger. Yeah.
oh, it's only got a single focus.
Oh, it doesn't have a 2?
That doesn't have
Never
a 2.
mind, then that's a bad play. For some reason, I thought it had 2 focus. It has 2 focus sides, I suppose.
All right, so we've got specials. We will go ahead and use one of those to reset this Shadowcaster. I think you've seen the Shadowcaster a time or 2.
Liam asking if Eric could pay to stop the damage from Battlefield, right? You can't because it's right. You could pay, technically, because I can't spot a Grievous anymore. So it's an indirect unless you give me a resource
Okay.
or spot Grievous to do one. But I assume you
At this point, I needed the cash.
Yeah.
Funny, all that money, and I still needed money on this round, right?
There it is.
Alrighty, so we will target an Astromech and spend that to the 6 side, which is going to put 8 into IG.
3, 6. 8.
We'll go ahead and bring that
My
Shadowcaster
goodness,
back.
you're going to make it happen, Wainwright.
Boom. And then we just go ahead and spin this to that crazy 5 for 2, and that should do it.
And that is the game. That was actually way closer than expected. I feel like I got out of the gate slow, but that also might just feel that way because you got out of the gate with 15
Right, you have 15 resources. You're just looking at the deal.
So everyone watching, I would love to know, having witnessed R2-C3PO, what do you think? Like, what do you think as the player of it? Is this the next Snoke, or is this just R2 and C3PO doing their R2 and C3PO shenanigans?
I mean, we've got to start seeing what happens when, I mean, you see them against the table. I think you have to be on your side, keeping 1 cost and 0 cost mitigation, just slow them, because they don't do anything except for generate resources.
That is
on the
all
first
they do,
rounds, right?
Like, even if you just look at the starting dice, it's like you've got to play things.
Yeah, so, I mean, and those 1 resources, you should look at them the same way you look at like a Vader 3 or something like that, where you want to mitigate it right away. And so there's a lot of 0 cost mitigation, so if you can just slow them down, I mean, really, the whole game would have been way different if I got to 5 instead of 6 resources, right?
Sure.
This thing never comes down, and it
Yeah,
just doesn't
so, like,
snowball that way, so.
Turn 1, pretty heavy mitigation would slow him down. Let me get. I even think a deck like Vader from Across the Galaxy, is that from Across the Galaxy? Is that the right set? His ability to do a bunch of damage really quickly. Because if he could just burn down one of them.
Yeah, one of them all of a
gets-
sudden, because I can't pay for this stuff. I mean,
But honestly, like, the thing to me about that is, I feel like it's so hard to kill either of those characters before you at least trigger once.
Sure.
So that turn 1, getting the Falcon out with the Escapecraft as an example.
I don't think it's like a 10%. I think it's more of a 50% or maybe 70% chance of time that it's going to happen.
That is
right?
even with heavy control. Like,
I mean, that's where there's a lot of 0 cost mitigation these days. So
but like, I mean, you're gonna the odds of you rolling a thing and me being able to stop it, because again, you can just roll C3PO in.
yes, he could do it himself. So if there's 1 sitting out there, he has a good chance of getting
Yeah.
it.
So like your odds of getting, but regardless, it's like if 60-70% of the time you get a Falcon or a Shadowcaster with upgrades on turn 1, or even honestly just the Pod Racer and an M1, it's like that's
yeah.
pretty good.
I think one of the really interesting things is if you have Pod Racer in your opening hand, do you play it? If you have that and like the Millennium Falcon in your hand, do you play the Pod Racer? Because you get extra value getting it down in front of Anakin and you disrupt them and everything like that, and that seems really good. But also, this really was the engine that made it go, right? So the question is, do you get greedy for all of it, or is it good enough to do that?
I think it's the kind of thing where you have to try to get the Falcon into play. I think that if you have a Falcon in your hand, because if you get the Falcon, you could get the resources to pay for the Pod Racer, and that's way more value than just playing the Pod Racer. But you know, if you get down to those like the Falcon and the Pod Racer, I'd play the Pod Racer and try to get it going. But yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see that deck start to do what I kind of set it out to do. Because in theory, you look at it and it's like, this should work. But then you do it and it's like, that was way easier than I expected it to be for you to actually pull that off.
And on the other side, what is it? I mean, basically, you were 1 easy pickings away from being able to wipe my board on round 3, and your deck, I don't think really fired on. I mean, it did kind of what it wanted to do, but it didn't get its bounties and stuff like that.
No.
And it still was aggro enough to, you know, hit out, what's this, 8, 8, 7, 23 hit
23
points.
damage, yep.
So you did 21 damage in 3 rounds.
And I
mean,
don't feel like I was
Right.
over aggressive. And the easy pickings turn was,
brutal.
I mean, it's what easy pickings does, right? I mean, so, and he's got two sides, plus I had an upgrade with the 2 side. Odds are pretty good that something's going to hit where you can do that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's potentially some pieces missing from my deck. I don't know what they are.
But Roger seems right up his alley.
It's so good, right? Pay 1 to focus 2 of his dice. You get the Grievous power action to reroll his dice as well. So there's definitely some play there. I think IG-88 at 17 is the right amount of points.
Well, and you made him 16 with a Grievous,
which is even more right amount of points. Like, I think that's right. But yeah, I thought they did a really good job. You know, the first IG-88 that we got in the first block was a little expensive.
I think most of the things that were there, they're just being careful.
Most of the things were expensive. Okay, we have some people saying it's time for old DACA deck on the table. Mash up with The Walking Dead and Star Wars. So we're not actually going to be playing the DACA deck, but we are going to be showing the rest of the previews that we had. Quick reminder before we show those off and start just generally talking about Spark of Hope. I mentioned this earlier, but we literally just... Are you showing something?
No.
Making sure you don't have any other previews?
Yeah, I was just checking.
We literally just in the past 24 hours sold our last shipping by release Saga set for Spark of Hope. So if you want to get a Saga set, which is 1 of every legendary, 2 of everything else from Spark of Hope, they're now shipping within a week of release. So we ship them and make them in the order that we receive the orders. So the people that order now will be the first people shipping in that within 1 week. A lot of times those also end up shipping by release kind of a thing, but if not, usually a couple days after or the Monday or Tuesday after release sort of a thing, and then they show up in a day or two. And of course, you can always, if you prefer booster boxes over the non-randomness of Saga sets, you can grab a Destiny booster box subscription. Sign-up's free. You get charged a week or two before release. Product in the U.S. shows up on release. It's like a 91% rate that we have on release for these releases, and the rest of them usually show up the next day. I've heard of people ordering and having to wait a couple weeks on their products, which is just like flabbergasting. Like, I don't even know. Like,
It would hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, with Saga sets, right? It's a challenge because it takes us so long to open and that much product and produce the sets that like we have no choice at this point. The number of people that want Saga sets versus what we are capable of to now be at within 1 week for release, but like we are like busting it to get those out as fast as possible because we know what it's like, right? I know I ordered a Saga set, right? I know what it's like to wait on a product, especially when like if your friends are getting booster boxes and they buy them locally on release or whatever. So if you want at this point guaranteed stuff on release, you can get a booster box subscription. And we'll make that happen, and everyone will be happy about it. Were you going to say something? I felt like you were going to add something. You're good. You're like, no, just let me do your thing. And we appreciate it. It's what allows us to do content like this and all the blogs that were the preview deck list for this, the teasers at least, and then the preview content itself. And we love the Destiny community, so it's just awesome to get to be a part of it and to get the opportunity to do stuff like this. And of course, a huge shout out to FFG for sending us the previews. I think they've done. We'll just talk about Spark Hub. I think they've done a great job. All the previews I've seen so far. From Yoda to Rey, like I don't know what I'm most excited about. It's starting to feel like a who's who, right? Like getting to play R2, C3PO's characters, a great IG-88. We saw Jango, and I'm fine on Jango, but some people really dig the whole Jango vibe. Pairing him with Boba Fett. We've seen Yoda, we've seen Reylo, we've seen what else have we seen?
I don't know, but all those things that you mentioned, what it makes me think of is that they're breaking a rule for each of these guys, right? And in an interesting way, and it's not just pushing numbers and making the next best thing. It's like here's a new puzzle that you've got to solve with this guy or that guy and stuff like that. Or what can you do that's outside the box because you have this new ability.
It's like crazy, right? Even like so Reylo is breaking the hero villain boundary, right? And then all those characters we're talking about are doing like Yoda breaks the shield limit value. Maul's ability is crazy. Thrawn's ability is crazy. R2 and C3PO, obviously, like this is crazy. It's wild. I also love how much they're just like piling on a theme. So we have Faithful Companions, right? Which naturally makes you want to play them together.
Yep.
And they feel like R2 and C3PO.
They
right?
do.
They're not doing the thing, but it's really annoying that they're doing what they're doing.
And I wonder, I'm guessing when you see one, you'll probably see both. I don't know that one of them is going to live on their own very often, but...
I think I could see R2 more than C3PO by himself.
Okay.
So R2's ability to switch to the first side of your
First side die, find somebody else with a good first side.
Yeah, and either one. I mean, C3PO leads 10 points for a red character with 2 focus and 2 resource sides, and the ability to do +1. So +1 damage, +1 discard, +1 disrupt.
Sure, but all those things feel like they're close, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it
Together,
feels like
they feel like they're on
they
fire.
feel like they've got something there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just on fire. Okay, let's show some cards, shall we? So for reference, and we posted this on the website, but I'm going to bring up Old Daka, and I'll read her to you, Eric, so you can hear what I'm saying. She's 9 health, 9 points, 14 for elite, has an okay die side. When she's defeated, all your Night Sister zombies get set aside. She has a power action. You can spend a resource to put a Night Sister zombie in play, or 2 Night Sister zombies if this character is elite. So the Night Sister zombie, for those that are not familiar, let me find it. There it is. These things, have you seen the Clone Wars?
I have, yes.
The Night Sisters are creepy. Those zombies when they start falling from those trees. Anyways, some people hate it. I'm fine with it. It's like this is a huge galaxy with like all kinds of stuff going. It's just like Bizarro land. Anyways, Night Sister zombie, 5 health, 5 points. Indirect damage dealt to you must be assigned to this character last. After you activate this character, you can spot another witch to deal a damage to a character that has a curse on them. Not awful. I think in the teaser blog, preview blog I wrote, I was basically talking about a deck either has to find a way to make extra characters valuable or activations valuable. Like I think about the, cycle 1 price of failure. This would be an infinite. This is going to be in...
So did you mention the thing when she dies, all the zombies go away?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Daka dies, they're gone.
Yeah.
But picturing like if you run a single die Daka with them, you put one into play, and then it's like you have a price of failure free sacrifice
Something.
thing, or the like into the garbage chute style cards where you exhaust and do something powerful, right? Or one of the ones I liked was Common Cause, which is pay 1, draw a card for every blue character that you can spot on your side. So if you have Daka and Talzin, and you put 2 of these out, it's pay 1, draw 4.
There's a new one that was spoiled that's a 0 cost, so you can defeat any number of characters up to 3, I think, and get a money for each. I mean, that doesn't seem like great value for anybody else, but here, if they were going to go anyway,
Pretty good. I mean, or if they're just sitting there, right? It's just like
I've already activated them for the round, and now I'm going to go ahead and
100%. Okay, so someone was asking, was Dead or Alive shown? And I'm gonna pop that on the screen really quickly before we get to the new Daka card. So here's Dead or Alive, which we showed during the IG88 game. 1 cost, a downgrade. When you have to spot a bounty hunter to play it. Attached character is activated, you can gain a resource. After attached character is defeated, you gain a resource. This is one of my favorite bounties so far.
yeah, I mean, for
You-
the
when
1
you
cost
read through
ones,
it, you're
I
like,
was
hey, that's really good.
actually good. You know,
it's-
it'll pay for
you
itself.
can immediately get it back, and then if you kill, you get the money back. Having to sink resources in is tough. And then the best thing about bounties to me is abilities like IG88 that trigger off of it, right? So being able to have a bounty that really doesn't cost, and then when you do collect, if it's on there 2 or 3 turns, you're starting to get 2 or 3 money, and you're collecting 1 back when you kill it. I think it's pretty solid.
I mean, IG88 screams at me you need 0 cost bounties, and some of them have been underwhelming, but this is one that costs 1 but doesn't really cost 1, right?
Yeah.
Are they really not going to activate the round
They're
you put it
totally
down
gonna
there?
activate it. Turn 1, you play it, you get your money back, and you can spend that resource now, kind of a thing. Okay, you ready for some new cards as well?
Let's do it.
This is going to be Hex. This is a downgrade. It's a curse that costs 1. It's got Talzin with a Dooku doll looking all creepy on it. It's got action. Exhaust this downgrade to remove one of attached character's character dice showing a blank. Now, you know how I feel about blanks. I hate rolling them, but I love all the blue dark side blank manipulation. The one thing that this new cycle has been missing, because we got some blank cards. There are cards in the current block, right? The post rotation cycle that want to deal with blanks. But unfortunately, the first cycle going away also means a ton of the cards that penalize for blanks are gone, right? Feel Your Anger, rotate it out, right? And you go down the list. Force Lightning, which is one of my favorites, rotate it out. You remove a blank to roll it back into the pool when you do the damage. And so this, to me, is starting to get back in that territory of, okay, now if I blank your card and you have a Hex on, I can just tap this and remove a die. Like, you have to re-roll. That's immense hand pressure, right?
Yep, and so you probably have some 0 cost mitigation that can spin it to 0, and now what are they going to do? They just rolled them out. They don't want to re-roll their 1 dice, right? So they want to roll other stuff to get more value out of the re-roll, but if they do, there's a good chance it's gone.
Yeah, and I think about, what's that card? We've been drafting a lot of this last set. It's the 2 cost. It may be a Jedi. It might be light side. Reroll 1 or remove 1, turn a die to a side of your choice. That one.
yeah.
I think it's light side.
It's light,
but those cards that there are cards that blank, right? And all of a sudden, if you have like a permanent removal card on the board for blanks.
I mean, Beguile, right? That's a neutral one that does the same type of thing.
100%. So I think this is pretty decent. I obviously would love it a lot more at 0. Now I will say, this card in draft, I think it's going to be really good. Like, removal is not easy to come by in draft.
And this is repeatable.
So just put it on the character you're going to kill last, and it's anytime they roll a blank, you just next action remove that die. That is so frustrating. All right, let's see here. We have one more, I believe, exclusive preview that we have never shown, and this is a legendary. And this card is actually the first time I read it, I just was like, my goodness. Now, fortunately, since I've seen this card, Snoke has been changed. Snoke with this card somewhat terrified me because of his resource production, which we'll get to in a second. So Talisman of Resurrection. 3 cost. It has a blank, 2 specials, 2 focus, 2 shields, and 1 discard.
So no blanks.
1 blank.
Oh, blank, okay.
I said 1 blank. Sorry, I went backwards. I read up the card. Which character only? And the special says, gain 2 resources. Then you may spend resources equal to the point value of a defeated character to return it to play under your control.
Oh my.
So just to repeat that, it has to go on a witch. If you trigger the special, you gain $2. And then after you gain the $2, you can spend resources equal to the point value of a dead character to bring them back into play. So context, right, is like let's say you have the Daka from earlier, or Talzin at 9. 9-point Talzin with 21 point anything you want, or 20-point Maul with 1 point retribution. Right? Is it 20? I think it's 20. With 1 point retribution, and then they're going to go after Maul first. easily, right? So they're going after Maul, witch magic, whatever. Then you drop this down, and it's like, technically you would need a lot of money.
A lot of money.
You're looking at me like, that's not possible. But I see this card is so abusable, and I wrote this kind of in the blog, which is like, I feel like there's the Daka deck, which is like, get a bunch of these witches out, and I feel like there's the Talisman deck, which is like, have my cheap characters that I keep bringing back. Whether it's battle droids, you also run the little ship that lets you get another battle droid potentially, and you just keep swarming characters, and you have Talzin, and you have best defense, and you have whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm going to pay 6, put a droid back in, and on it goes. And we've seen with the 5-cost no-die character on the zombie, how many of those kind of characters we're going to get, right? Are we going to get a 3 or a 4,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like gain 2, put a 4 back in?
Because I think you probably want to go for a little more value than Battle Droid, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even First Order Stormtrooper, really good, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's significantly better for 1 more cost. Yes, 7 is, but if you do have a 3 or 4 cost thing that you can get in, that last turn when you're about to die and they're about to do the last damage, you're just like, okay, I'll use it now to get 4 more hit points, so I get another round or something like
Yeah,
that.
well, Stormtrooper's 7 more hit points.
And what I'm saying, you go for the 7 point and you build your deck around that.
Yeah.
But if you also have that other thing of once in a while, I will take the little cheap guy just to buff
Yeah.
up my hit points or something like that.
And in the right deck, if you have a resource engine going, that's why Snoke terrified me.
Right.
Because it's like, even like getting to 8 or 9 is not unreasonable.
Nope,
Because you
not
get
these
2
days.
off of the thing. So decks that would typically get to 5 or 6, right? Obviously, your deck just showed us that 15 is possible on the hero side. But the on the board repeatable bring something back from the dead is we haven't seen that yet,
Yeah.
right? So that's pretty crazy. So I'm just reading through some comments. You got any questions or comments coming in over there that are worth acknowledging?
I haven't had one on the Facebook side for a while.
Oh, this is pretty crazy. Someone's saying you could use it on your opponent's defeated characters, which may very well be true.
Sure, somebody will find a way to use that. I can't think of it off the top of my head why you'd want that.
I mean, if they had a 7 or 8 point character that was better than your 7 or 8 point character,
Oh, you can bring it back to your side.
you can bring their deck characters back
Oh.
away. Yeah, Eric's smiling. I wish you guys could see it right now. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so that's all our previews. To be very clear, we are out of previews. No more to show. I very much appreciate Eric. Thank you so much for joining us here. Everyone watching and listening, thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying this game with us. I hope you're as excited about Spark Hope as we are. As I mentioned, if you want a Saga set, the next couple of weeks is the time. We don't know a release date yet, but we know that it's imminent, right? We saw FFG do the live stream. We've seen previews start coming through. I'm expecting a July-ish release at this point. So we're not that far out, right? It's middle of June at this point, so we're maybe 3 or 4 weeks out. We'll see when they end up putting it out, and I'm excited. Are you excited about anything for this set? Like, where's your excitometer?
Oh, it's really high. I mean, I haven't seen a thing spoiled that I wasn't like, oh, that's interesting, right? And I mean, I love building decks and stuff, and that's just exactly what I want to see.
How do you feel about New Yoda?
Oh, I don't know if he's good, but it's so interesting. I mean, Shields, I'm sure at some point they capped it at 3 when they designed the game because somebody was abusing it and putting 10 on, and they're just like, oh, I can't ever win this game, so against some aggro deck or something like that. And so here's somebody that gets to go to 6 because. I mean, we've seen the shields on Qui-Gon, but sometimes you just have a 2 shield on and you have nobody where to put it or something like that. And this is like, you're always going to have a place to put it on. And so I don't know how often that happens, but it opens up your ability to not worry about overextending on shields, right? I mean, you might be able to build a deck that just out-shields their racing, and I mean, that seems
pretty good.
Seems crazy. I mean, you
Yeah.
still need some type of win condition, but I mean, that brings that as a possibility out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking, when I saw him, it was immediately, I've kind of been waiting for someone to pair with the most recent Ahsoka that I was really excited about.
Sure.
And I think like Jedi teacher Yoda, because Yoda and Ahsoka have a lot of really good interaction, I think, in the Clone Wars. So I love Yoda. He's one of my favorite characters, top 5 character. Ahsoka's top 5 character. Two new versions of those. I haven't really explored the new Ahsoka so much, but being able to explore both those characters simultaneously,
together,
I'm super excited about that. Also been on my side, from the moment they announced it, I was building Raylo decks.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing that. But I've been exploring at first it was all weapons, and now I'm kind of exploring. I like the Neiman Mastery that was announced. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's 2 cost lightsaber mastery or form mastery, like the Sarisa mastery.
Right. Yep.
When you play it, you can turn a character upgrade die to a side of your choice.
Okay, so similar type of feel.
It's only 2 cost.
Okay,
So the other one is you play it, you remove a die.
right.
The special, which has got 2 of and no blanks, of course, is turn a character and upgrade dice to sides of your choice.
That's really cool. So the come into play effect and the special ability, just like the
Yep.
other one, have very related and stuff like that.
So in Raylo, because there's so many specials in all of their stuff, right? Character and upgrade dice going to special means that you can change Kylo or Rey die to special,
And chain.
and you can change. You just immediately, it's like ding, check. So I'm looking at Forbidden Lore is really good. You get an ability at -1. It's a 0 cost.
Villain one, yep.
Neiman Mastery is 2. Sarisu Training is 2. Sarisu Mastery is 3, which you can play with a Forbidden Lore on turn 1, which is really good. But basically, I'm looking at a version of the deck, and I might post another blog about it, that is really leaning into the Force abilities and kind of exploring. More than that, though, the upgrades that do something when you play them. So it's the crossguard lightsaber that does a damage. It's the mastery forms that remove a die or get shields. It's the ability to use training to get Sarisu Mastery back.
Mm-hmm.
Luke's training, spot 2 blue characters, play an ability from your discard pile or hand to get it back. And so there's just a lot of that kind of stuff going on. That's what I'm looking at. So we'll see. I am committed, assuming they announce Worlds, which is in October.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you're going to try to go.
Yep.
I'm now like, it's like we've been on break, right? There's no tournaments. We had a new set. So in Tulsa, we've just been drafting. We're doing a slow grower league that's awesome, which we're actually missing the first little bit of right now. But this set's going to come out. I assume it'll be the last set before Worlds. If Worlds is in
It'd
October,
be crazy if they pushed it in earlier.
if somehow, because if the set comes out even now in June, it's like July, August, September, it would be like right on the 4-month mark when Worlds is happening. That said, unless the only way I'm not playing Raylo is if I legitimately feel like there's a Vader deck that is just like 3 tiers above. Because I'm unwilling.
So there's no like Ahsoka thing that just lights your fire that you're like, I can do this?
Ahsoka and Vader are the only 2 characters
Okay.
that could possibly make me change my mind. But I don't feel like, so like Ahsoka to me is a support character. She's not the main character.
Okay.
And so like because of that, Yoda might make it, right? Yoda, Ahsoka, but playing a long tournament with a shield-based deck, I have a lot to say about that.
Right,
I'm
right.
not gonna go
Might be
into
fun
it.
for the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and then it's exhausting, right? Just like the I'm going to stay alive for longer than you kind of a vibe. But that could happen. But right now, there's no character team in Star Wars outside of Destiny, like just in general, that I would be more excited to have on the table. The big question though is, do I use the newest Rey that's going to come out or the Rey 2 that came out, the 2-player starter? Because Kylo's automatic damage when he moves a shield from him to Rey, paired with her automatic damage when she has a shield, I feel like that free damage that's going on is like, hi, you can see, I'm just excited about it. Quick question for everyone listening before we cut out of here. From Spark of Hope, what are you most excited about? Last call, I want to know. And then we're going to cut out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in and having a good time with us. I'm very much looking forward to Spark of Hope. I'm going to read through some comments while we're waiting. Planetary bombardment. I don't know what that's about. Anything notable over there?
We got people yelling your name.
My name?
Yep.
Nam? Is that
No one
Nam?
knows that. Yep, that's Nam.
Nam, what's up? He always every time we post, it's just in caps, spaced out. Zach. All right, cool. Well, let's get out of here. Someone's
good.
saying they're excited about Django. More blue weapons. I agree. More blue weapons. I saw a 2-cost Jedi lightsaber.
Yep.
I don't know what it does. I just know it's a 2-cost Jedi lightsaber.
Put some shields on you, and then you can override it in something else.
Is it when you play it on a Jedi?
1 normally, 2 if it's on a Jedi.
That's perfect for Raylo. There's no Jedi, but being able to pay, that's another one of those play abilities, right?
Yep.
Play it, get a shield on Kylo, move it over for damage with Rey, attack with Rey, do a damage. We're in business. I've got a deck brewing. Let's do this. All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. At some point in the future, we'll be back with more Destiny. Until then, keep playing. And there's going to be a minute here where I'm just going to disappear to shut this thing off. But again, thank you so much. And keep playing Destiny. This game is great. I'm super excited about this next set.
Yeah.
Final words from Eric Wainwright.
Destiny, I mean, I've been playing it for 2 years now, and it still surprises me, and I'm still coming in here because it's a great game and has more depth, and I think they're designing it in an excellent direction.